Hey, everybody. It's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. And listen, this video will hopefully stop some of the hype that is out there. When we talk about XRP and R3, I need to set the facts straight once and for all. First, Corda Settler uses other digitized tokens. It has been doing so since early 2019. And it was made to launch more and more native tokens on Settler as an all-in-one solution with their software development kit, the SDK. XRP has never been exclusive. In addition, the Italian banks running on Corda, this has nothing to do with payments. Zero. No movement of money. The hype around this fake narrative needs to be set straight, and the facts are going to be shown in this video right from the horse's mouth, the lead manager of that Spunta project. My purpose is to be kibishi. Yeah, you're going to just have to look that word up because I don't know exactly how to say it in English. But I feel a little kibishi today, and that's because if we oversell XRP different from the reality, then you leave so many people disappointed because the expectations are falsely set. And I don't want to see that because I'm here for the long term. I'm tired of investors who have turned sour because they were fed some pie in the sky. I'm not going to do it. And so, yeah, maybe this is how I feel 2 days after swell. Is I'm feeling a little kibishi. So please allow, if you're interested in this topic, for me to kind of paint the story. I'm going to take you back to June 26th, 2018, when Mr. Kitau was the keynote speaker at the blockchain conference in Tokyo. This is where he laid out his earnest effort that he was putting forth to get R3 and Ripple to become partners again, and to get an agreement where they could settle their lawsuit and, as he put it, shake hands. In September 2017, R3 sued Ripple. It was based on a dispute on some options to buy 5,000 billion XRP at the 0.0085 cents up to 2019, September. Ripple terminated that agreement on June 12, 2017, bringing the lawsuit on. And then Ripple countersued and the battle began. And it was ugly, especially for someone like Mr. Kitau of SBI, who really had great hopes that the two of those companies working together could really make an amazing front in this battle to grab market share. Luckily, on the 10th of September, so what, 3 months after he was that keynote speaker, a settlement was reached. We don't know exactly if he played a big part in that, but I'm going to guess he played some part. On the 29th of January, SBI Japan formed this SBI R3 Japan joint venture. And the purpose was to support and introduce Corda under a licensing agreement to expand into Eastern Asia. This is the region that Mr. Kitau wanted to work in. And SBI took 60%, R3 took 40%. So this joint venture has since changed recently. SBI still has the majority share, but they did give a little bit of that share to Sumitomo, which is great because that is an unbelievable partner. So they still have the two of them together, Sumitomo and SBI, still have that 60%, and they're going to they're going to do great things with this technology. So R3 began to appear in many slides. These slides are the investor relations slides that Mr. Kitau uses in his presentations. They usually come quarterly. Can't wait for the next one. And you can see that R3 was going to be used in projects that were not just limited to financial industry. And they would use these smart-based contracts, that technology. And then on December 5th, 2018, this is when Corda Settler was built. And XRP was used to showcase this technology. Now, if you are going to dispute that, I'm going to take you to a video that I took in Tokyo with R3, and they got a question from this young man in the audience in the Q&A portion, and he was asked, why did you use XRP? And you can see that you're going to see the answer here is that it was just to prove the concept. It had nothing to do with being an exclusive digital asset in this new addition to Corda. Not at all. It was just to show how on the test network that it could work. And then they later went and did an integration with Swift, totally separate from the first proof of concept using the digital asset XRP. And you have to remember that really it's a dream of Mr. Kitau to be able to use the R3 technology and the digital asset XRP together. That is his dream. His dream. All right, I'll have you listen to this.
Launched the Corda Settler with the integration of XRP as the first crypto. Why XRP and why is suitable for enterprise payment and settlement?
Good question. So, for those who don't know, Corda Settler is it's an attempt to make it easier to settle payments from Corda applications, even if there is not cash on ledger. So people talk in the future about central bank digital currencies, and they talk about having real money on the ledger. But right now, what we have on enterprise or business blockchains is we have business processes, but money is still in traditional banks or it's on cryptocurrency networks. So what we wanted to show was, let's imagine you've got an insurance contract on Corda and I need to pay you, I'm paying your claim £10,000 or whatever it is. How do I complete that process, and how do I pay you in a way that removes all ambiguity? I pay you and I can prove that I've paid you, so then we're done. You can't claim you didn't receive the payment. I can prove that I've done it. So we came up with a pattern that we call Corda Settler that allows me to say to you, how would you like to be paid? I'd like to be paid in yen or XRP or whatever it is. What proof do I need to give you that I've done it? I then go and pay you, I prove I've done it, and we're done. And that's quite boring. It's really useful, but and it's interesting to me. But I think a lot of people don't get excited by it. And yet, I think it's a really important pattern. So the first version we did, I think it did excite a lot of people. We said, well, you know what? If we just did it with the traditional bank, maybe it wouldn't be that interesting. So I think we surprised a lot of people. And the first integration we did, that I think really captured people's imagination, was to say, here's how you can settle if the recipient wants to receive XRP. So we showed how Corda could talk to the XRP network, and we did it on the test network, and we showed how you could send that to the other side and prove that you've done it. We've since subsequently started work on a second integration to Swift GPI. So now we have an example of doing it with a modern cryptocurrency network and also with a traditional banking rail. So and it's open source, so anybody can add any other ones. But I agree. Were there specific examples of people then who wanted payments in that way? It was mainly for me at least, it was just to prove the concept.
All right. So his words, just to prove the concept, and they did it on the test net with the digital asset XRP. And then they also showed that it could integrate with the Swift GPI. It's an all-in-one solution. 3 months later, you can see that they came out with this SDK. That's a software developer kit. And when it was introduced, it was very clear that it would allow any business to roll out tokens on the settler to settle native tokens of any issuance into fiat through traditional rails, reducing the time, cost, and counterparty risk. And on the heels of this announcement, you can see there are 4 use cases on the Corda settler using digital assets, not XRP. Corda settler can settle instantly an application that enables atomic delivery versus payment as well. So the digital assets and the cash token trades, they can be made to improve this whole reconciliation process. And one of those 4 projects is using a native token that was collateralized. It's called IVNO. There were 28 different participants. Some of those included the National Bank of Canada, US Bank, DBS. Those are just 3 names out of big names that were a total of 28. And then there's the HQLAX. This is employing tokens with legal underpinning to support their gold and silver trading platform. So Spunta, when we talk about Spunta, just look at the cards. I mean, there's just so many people talking about why I think banks will use XRP through R3 and Corda settler. And it just keeps going and going. Now I want you to listen to the lead project in this Spunta project for Italy, which does have all the banks on Corda, but it has nothing to do with XRP. As a matter of fact, it has nothing to do about moving money. It has nothing to do about payments. It's a reconciliation process. I'm going to have you listen to this, and it's very short, like 30 seconds.
2020. Italian banking sector decided to move with the Spunta process, which is a reconciliation process. It works at a book level. It's about reconciliate operations between 2 different banks, and we don't move money. It's not about payments. It's just about the reconciliation of the information of the underlying operations.
There you go. And in addition to that, there was this podcast where they talk about what could possibly be the next stage for Spunta beyond the domestic use, but to go into some foreign case use. This is a video I did in April of this year, and it talks about that nostro vostro Spunta with Europe. I'm going to play this portion again. Not even a minute long.
Now we are very focused on bringing Spunta into production with the different waves. But we also have some thinking about other possible use cases. Even if we, at the same time, we encourage the banks to develop their own ones using the infrastructure we build together. The first extension would be what we call the foreign Spunta. We'd like, as soon as this virus will flow away, we'd like to set up a work group of European banks to design together, exactly as we did with the Italian banks, the functional requirements necessary to extend Spunta to the Nostro and Vostro account process that involves banks globally.
So this is connecting the data transfers between the Nostro Vostro with Europe and Italy to share in a walled garden. That is what it is. It is not payments in regards to eliminating Nostro Vostro accounts. totally not. So that is why when I hear people talk about how XRP is going to be incorporated into the Spunta project, I mean, I can bring you more if these two videos, or the audio and the video, weren't enough for you. But I'm going to finally take you to the very end, going back to Mr. Kitau, because I need you to really understand the dynamics that are occurring yet today between Ripple and R3. This is a March investors presentation, and Mr. Kitau is talking about the challenges that still exist between R3 and Ripple. And hopefully he says he can bring these parties together, but it is very challenging. And he thinks, as being a lead shareholder in both companies, that if they combine their efforts together, it will be the global standard. But as you can see, it isn't happening yet. All right, I'm going to have you listen. This is a translated version. He's talking in the background, and they hire English translators to translate his presentation. So I think it's quite clear. I think you'll have no trouble understanding.
MoneyTap, Corda, Scoin. You could see that we are partnering together. This is a development we are seeing. The backbone technology behind MoneyTap is from Ripple. So, by connecting that with R3's Corda, this is something I have continued to say that we should do. First, we had a fight, and there was a litigation, and then we settled the matter, and then when both come together and become integrated, it can become a global standard, and it could nurture the biggest market in the financial industry. So we are the leading shareholder in each entity. And this is my one of my greatest wishes. So indirectly, we are currently working on this. I wouldn't say both companies are fighting still, but still, the relationship is somewhat challenging. Ripple is going to develop their payment mechanism, and Corda is going to create their remittance mechanism. If that happens, they will need to compete against one another. Instead of competing, if they partner together, they will be able to win. But unfortunately, it's not happening yet. At some point in time, I could be the middleman, and hopefully we'll be able to bring both parties together. So the fifth topic is one of the areas I'm putting a lot of effort into, which is learning.
And he moves on to his next topic. So there you have it. And please don't don't believe the hype out there, because you're only going to set yourself up for disappointment. And I'm, of course, positive on all the real facts that are based on the use case for XRP. But I'm not going to give you some fake pie in the sky use case when I clearly know it's not relevant. All right, so I really felt I needed to say that. Oh, everybody, let's go to some fluff. So this is an eraser company in Japan that's quite popular. They cover these erasers in a cardboard, and then you can kind of peel it back as you bring the eraser down. And you would wonder, well, what is this white in the center of the blue eraser? It's kind of fun. It's so simple, but fun. So as you erase and just use the outside portion of the rectangle, you can create your own very Mount Fuji, your snow-capped Mount Fuji, nonetheless. I think these little things in life are just Yeah, so fun. Doesn't cost a lot of money to have some fun. And I don't know about where you live, but in Japan, all of a sudden, these Uber Eats backpacks are the next best thing to slice bread that people are buying. I just don't know why. Maybe because when they go to the grocery store, instead of carrying a carry bag, maybe the backpacks are easier. And of course, if you're buying anything frozen, it's a good place to store it until you get home. Because we don't necessarily do cars here in the city. I mean, everybody is doing either by foot, by bicycle, or by taxi occasionally, and by train. So the time that you might have between the time you go shopping to the time you get your items into the refrigerator is a little longer, unless you happen to be really, really close to a market. It's maybe a little longer than those who are living in the United States, who just throw it in the back seat of the trunk and then they're home in less than 3 minutes or 5 minutes at the most, right? So maybe that's why they're so popular. And Uber just put out a coupon that you can save money if you go and pick it up. And I like scratch my head and I say, well, isn't that defeating the purpose of Uber? I mean, Uber is for when you want something delivered to your home. But what they found is that people who have these backpacks, because of the current slowdown that we have in our society, people feel the need to get up and exercise. And so these Uber Eats network of restaurants to go pick it up yourself, which is called mochikairi, is super popular. Go figure. Who would have thought that Uber Eats could turn into a come and pick it up yourself with so much growth in their sales? I understand the fact that we need to move more. So I guess it's not so strange, but I don't think anybody could have predicted that growth for that company. And then I found something very, very cool from the Tokyo Tower. I think it's going to come out here. There's a new live cam for Tokyo. That's at Skytree, by the way, which is straight north from where I am, up in the Ueno area, or at the end of Sumida. This is unfortunately only 180-degree view, not 360. I was so excited to say, I can show everybody where I live, but I can't because it's going in the 180 that doesn't include my part of the city. But this is just kind of fun. If it wasn't such a cloudy day, you would be able to see Mount Fuji. And so maybe I'll have to remember on a very sunny day to show this live cam to you again so you can see Mount Fuji, because it's pretty beautiful when you see it. So I'm going to wait for it just to pan. I think it now goes back to the left. I'm just going to show you Mr. Kitau's building here. We're looking over towards the Olympic Village right now. That is Shibata. And now it's coming back over closer to the first Ichume. Ichume is the first block of Roppongi. And Akasaka, this is Akasaka here, this area. And this is Minato-ku. This is a famous park right down here. Oh, let's see. Okay, it's going to go here in a second. I don't know. You know, the city is just never ending. Truly, there is no start or finish to it. This is Toranomon. This has my favorite restaurant at the top. I took my dad there when he came. It's coming up here. Toranomon is an area that's getting a brand new building that I showed in the photo. There's Mr. Kitau's building. This green glass is his Not the entire building, but he's got a lot of floors. He's got a lot of floors. So I'm guessing if Ripple were to come to Tokyo, chances are they would take an office in that building. I'm just guessing. And this is the Morty Tower, which is in Roppongi Hills. And you're moving now over towards Azerbaijan. This is in the Hiro area. A lot of foreigners living, lots of foreigners in this section of the city right there. This is kind of like, yeah, this is where the foreigners live. And not that they, have some like, oh, that's the foreigners area, but there is, we see Fuji. You can see it. Yes, you can see it. No, sorry, Chiba Peninsula. Yeah, no, I thought we had Mount Fuji in our shot. So no, I think that's as far as it goes, and now it's going to start going off to the right again. So it's just barely, maybe that's Fuji. That is Fuji. It's not a very clear day. That 100% is Fuji. Right there, where my mouse is. On a clear day, when it's blue sky, and especially in the wintertime when it's snow-capped, that is a really beautiful view. All right, there you go. Sorry if you weren't finding this interesting. I'm kind of fascinated by it. All right, everybody. Yeah, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.